Hello. Video. How's everybody doing this morning?
Tired. I have a long day ahead of me.
Yes. Yeah, yesterday was catching up at my other job, so it was a 8:30 to 6:30 day. And then I thought I would not watch the debate and get things done for this class, and I just got sucked into the hole. Anitra, is she still here? I saw that you got your site working.
So I did all the homework one, and I was going to submit it, but the photos won't show up on the live version.
Okay, cool. Hold on. This is my kid. Smile.
Tired.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about images first, because I know what happened. Yeah, and partly it's a funkiness of kind of github.com and the VS Code server, live server stuff. So, but it's a good thing to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna give people like 5-ish more minutes, and then we'll dive in. Anybody have any stories? Oh, I know. While we're waiting, I'll just kind of talk about the site a little bit. Okay. All right, there we go. So this is just a site that I like to keep to collect stuff for the class. So there's a little nav on top. The homework, I've got a few examples here for the homework. So just sort of, I'll be adding homeworks as we go to this page. So you can always find a description here, but I'll also always just have them in the Basecamp homework folder, because it's just nice to have the requirements right there where you send them in. But the site has some of those descriptions and examples, and then I'll also have projects this looks like it needs to be revamped, but because I've been kind of like reusing the site every term, so I need to work on this page a little bit, but projects will be posted here. And this is actually the same project we'll be doing, so if you want to kind of take a look at it, I'll probably introduce it officially next Monday. And then the resources page, which, oh good, I have kind of formatted it a little bit. There are a bunch of codes that's in here. Some of them have videos attached to them. Some of them just have the code. So what I've done is if I find something that people want to use, like I think I showed you a demo of one of the students, it was the lava lamp site that wanted to use that vertical accordion menu. So this site had a bunch of examples of those menus, and she was able to use the code from one of these and modify it to work on her site. So that's kind of one example. Other ones like the parallax. This one I believe is a video. Oh, this one's just like a code demo. You'll see a lot of cats in my code demos because there's a free like placeholder cat website. So this is this parallax effect that makes the background kind of stick in place a little and then the foreground kind of scroll up. So this is like a kind of a usable like demo that you can grab the code and then make it work on your own. Let me see if I can find one with video. So I have the code here. But let me see video. Well, I guess I can't find a one with video. But there are tons and tons of little code snippets that are fairly easy to get working. Let's see what this one is. So this is a code pen. That creates a little modal box. So you can kind of have a button that expands into a modal, and then it's got this cool spinny thing. So I'll kind of help you guys as we go along get these pieces working in your projects. And what else is on the site? Oh, I lost it. Yes, you. Okay, and then I have all the dates for the term here just to be handy. And then there's links to the Basecamp page. So this is just sort of, you know, another nice place to find info. I'm trying to add a glossary page as well, which also needs a little formatting, I see. But yeah, so starting to kind of add terms as we go. Okay, we're at 9:05, so I'm gonna jump in. I'm not going to talk directly about the debate, but I do want to talk about it from a like internet media standpoint, if we all will bear with me. And I had a sort of funny moment today where I was like, you know, like the West loves a narrative, and they love like good versus evil. And they love like the simplicity of that story. And so it's kind of like our experience of the world on the internet especially has kind of devolved into this like binary, right? There's red and blue. That's the only choice we have. And it doesn't even really feel like a choice. Like we really have, like we're either on one side or another, you know? And I was thinking about the Western, like the idea of that like high noon gun shootout. And I went to look for this clip from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I guess is not going to load for me. There you go. So it's like the high noon shootout. And there's like, there's Clint Eastwood there's the bad guy, and then there's the other guy that is just greedy or whatever. But there's this like back and forth. And then, of course, Clint Eastwood wins in the end. I'll share this clip. But I was thinking about that, and then I thought I wanted to look at different media outlets, because I only get served one side of the story, which just like serves to separate our ideas more and more. I swear we were slightly more bipartisan before, and that just doesn't even seem to be a thing. And actually not even just bipartisan. When I was in California, I was able to register as a Green Party member, and you can't even register. I think you were forced to register for Democrat or Republican here, aren't you? Because I didn't seem to have a choice when I registered. But
I feel like when I registered,
anyway,
you had like
so we're sort of
other
forced
options.
I think
You did?
it's independent. I think it's the only.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Oregon, they give you like more options than just red and
Okay.
blue.
Cool. It just felt like I had more options in California, but maybe I just, but yeah, so, and then, so I was like, okay, well, I'm served one side. I want to see what like all the sides are saying, right? So I tried to get what people are saying are the most biased. So, or that, you know, yeah, whatever. So I pulled up like Breitbart, which is probably like the farthest right, and this had this sort of like a hero image, and there's like a, you know, scorching earth, and Trump is the winner, and Wallace is the worst moderator ever, and like bad things about Biden, how he's like ditching Bernie, and if you just kind of scroll through, it's like you know, it's all this side, and then if you go over to like CNN, then it's like you know, any reasonable assessment of the debate must ask whether Trump destroyed his own presidency. So it's like completely other side. Trump's shocking moment. Yeah, so, and then, you know, similar with like if you go to Fox, Fox is saying, and then I went to Fox and was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So they were even calling it like a shootout on Fox. But yeah, so similarly, this like, you know, how he's kind of going against other Democrats, and here's who won. You can probably, you know, like Trump debate shows, the traditional format doesn't work well, so they're like, you know, there's like blame on the format. And then Cuomo fears that Trump's response as state grapples with ballot blunder. So there's like more stuff like supporting the ballot idea. So it's just like this two-sided thing, and I just wanted to kind of bring it up to just remind you all that you are, whichever side you tend to be on or your friends tend to be on, that's all the information that you'll get, and to just be skeptical of that. That's all. And then I don't think we should talk about the debate other than that, unless, I mean, maybe we can have a discussion after we get through some HTML, but yeah, just algorithms, algorithms. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then MSNBC was like, yeah, a mockery, lost a lot of sleep. Yeah, so you guys know the story. Close you out. Okay, so let's first talk about images. So there is a, if you go to the homework page, I was already there, go back. For homework 1, there is a video on the, ooh, cool, more, yay. There's a video on the requirements file, and the video will kind of walk you through how to get the homework done, and we're going to be learning a little HTML and CSS today, which will also help you. But Sean ran into a very common problem. Is yours up here, or you haven't posted it yet,
I haven't posted yet. I'm
Okay.
having a whole other issue now where it's not even loading the main page. So
Oh,
I've been trying to fix that.
cool. Oh, on your GitHub?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll talk about images. So let me pull up, hang on a second. Where am I going? Code. Where's my Visual Studio Code? There it is. Where are you? I see you. Oh, you're back there. Okay. Okay, so let me pull up one of my homeworks. Homework. Okay, so I'll just mess around with mine. So let's just pretend that PSU Interactive Media is my alanareese.github.io, because that's kind of the basic setup of how these folders are working. So when you go to a website, you are going to a base URL. So in this case, it's PSU interactivemedia.com, and then you'll go to like a sub page. So maybe, so I guess we could just go to homework, and then this is like a directory. And then, so inside this directory, there are other files, like there is this one. Narrative. Oh yeah, there's like a different, man, I got some work to do this weekend on this. There we go. So then there's another folder. So homework /H1 narrative. And then inside that folder, there's all the other projects. So if I have a couple different options with images. So let's go to my index page. So here's my index. I've got this is my header 1, how to open a bag of chips. This is my paragraph. And then here's my image. And in my image, I'm saying, this is basically saying, in the same directory that I am, so index is on the same level as images, then go into there and then find another image called arrow left. So if I expand this out, I can see arrow left. And so that is kind of pointing really in here. If I used the Go Live server, let's see, it would have to be a separate folder. So if I had put a slash in front of my images, this is going to go basically to the base URL. So it's going to be looking all the way up into this main thing, and it will find this images directory instead. So it's being absolutely, it's like the absolute address for the whole entire directory, instead of just going like in relationship to where it is. And I may even just grab some folders and files and kind of talk about that a little more. But that may be what's happening with your images, Sean, is if they are, if you're pointing in a different space than they're in. Okay, so let's see. Today, let's just sort of like back up for a second and just talk about, just do like basics of HTML. And I think what I'm gonna have you guys do is, if you can all grab some scratch paper, I wanna like write out some tags and kind of talk as we're writing. So everybody grab some scratch. I'm going to share my iPhone, iPad. I am connected. Oh, it's behind me. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Ooh. You see hello? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So, go back. Oh, I'm like trying to do it on my screen. That's so funny. So what the heck is HTML? Basically, at some point in the development of this whole internet business, somebody decided it would be great to have a visual web because it used to just all be text-based. So some people came up with some markdown code. They called it hypertext markup, or markup code, I should say, hypertext markup language. And they programmed browsers to understand certain characters as being hypertext code. And basically, there's like a few things that you need like for a browser to understand that it's HTML. The first one is on the very top of the page. There's this tag called Doctype. Doctype. And then HTML.
Ilana,
Yeah?
sorry, I'm not actually seeing anything on the screen.
Oh no. Okay. What happened to the screen? Let me try again. Your screen sharing is paused. Why? You are using enhanced encryption. What is wrong with you, technology? Stop sharing. Well, I can always use the whiteboard if that doesn't work. I just like my pencil better. I'll try one more time and see if that message goes away. I wonder if that's the PNCA encryption. Okay. Turn on screen mirroring. I already am. I'm trying AirPlay instead to see if that's any better. And my kid came into class in the afternoon and told everyone that you can, when you're muted, if you hold down the space bar, it acts like an intercom. So you can like press and hold it and talk and then release it, which is kind of awesome. Okay, AirPlay. All right, I'm trying again. Hold on. I'm sharing, but it seems angry. Okay, I'm gonna try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll switch to whiteboard. Oh my God. You suck. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay, so this first tag, this doctype tag, is when a file that has like a .html extension is loaded in your browser, the browser sees this tag at the top and it says, aha, this must be an HTML file. And then it says, okay, well, where is the HTML code? And that is the tag right below that, which is just HTML. And I recommend just kind of like writing along. It actually does help your brain remember tags if you kind of draw out this stuff versus typing it. So that tells the browser anything that you see between this starting HTML tag and the one at the very bottom of the file. It's not a very good / HTML. So anything in between here is an HTML, is HTML content. Then there's sort of like the head of the document, which is that basically one of the tags inside the head is the title, and the title is what you see in your tab. So if I have like my website, that's the name that shows up in the like tab of your browser. A bunch of other stuff goes in the head too, like if you're going to be using Google fonts, you may be importing them in this section. If you have a CSS file where all of your styles for your page are, you'll be linking to that in the head. So it's kind of like all the stuff that is not visible, but is like brought into the page to enhance the page in some way. There's also tags for description and keywords, and even an image that you can display in social media. So there's tags that you can put in the head, so that if you share a page on Facebook or on Twitter, that you are telling Facebook and Twitter, hey, show this image and show this text. Also, like if you Google a site and you see like a description, a phone number, things like that, a lot of those things will be coming from that head. Sometimes other places, but a lot of times they live in the head. So you can kind of think of it as like, if you have an email and you view the headers of the email and it shows you all the servers that it goes through and all the people that it's been sent to and CC'd, kind of similar thing for HTML. And so you've probably noticed that all these tags tend to have an opening tag, which is the closing and opening angle bracket, and then the name of the tag. And then there's some stuff inside of it, and then the way to close it is the opening closing angle bracket and then a / with the name of the tag again. So that's kind of like the standard format for HTML. So then after the head, you have the body. And the body is everything that's inside your browser window. So it's all the visible stuff. So like in your body, you know, that's where you would have like a header 1, which might be my website, or, you know, or welcome or whatever. Each one. I'm gonna clear all this out. Wait, brush library. Cool. I'll just turn this off. Get away. Okay, so I'll just start from body. Okay, close it down here so I have more space. Okay, so there are basic tags, and maybe I'll just actually go through a bunch of them. So there's header tags. So the top level header, which is generally like the name of your page, is H1. My page. And then there's H2 and H3 and H4. By default, the browser will show large as H1, smaller and smaller. So similar to like a Google Docs, where you have like different level headers. There are paragraph tags, and so if you have a bunch of text, you're going to want to put them all in a paragraph tag. And if you have like multiple paragraphs, it's good to separate them out into paragraphs so that you can kind of like control the spaces between paragraphs more easily. It's tempting to just put all your text, and then there's another tag called a BR tag. So the BR tag is a simple line break, and you can think of the paragraph versus line break as like in a Word document. If you do a hard character return, it starts a new paragraph. But if you do like a shift command or a shift control, it does like a soft character return. The break tag is kind of like that. And so, yeah, so when you're formatting documents, you're gonna want like each chunk of text to be in its own little paragraph. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna clear, I'm gonna, oops, add another layer. Okay, there is the link tag, which is called the anchor tag. And the anchor tag is an A tag. So you have basically the anchor tag and then some text like click me, and then a closing anchor tag. But the anchor tag has another attribute associated with it, and that's basically where do you want me to go when you click. So if I back out of this for a second, and you can just like add this to a new line. But if I add an attribute called href, that's basically hypertext reference. And then I can say equals quote, and then in the homework assignment, you could say like page 2.html end quote, and then you could say go to page 2 and then close out that anchor tag. Paragraph anchor. And image tag is an interesting one. So so image is img, and then similar to the anchor tag, it has an attribute. So its attribute is src. So instead of href, it's source. So you're going to say image source equals, and that's when you'll say, okay, we'll go into the images directory and then find an image called, I don't know, smile. I'm losing space, so I'll just go down here, PNG, end quote. And then the image tag is interesting. It doesn't have a closing tag. So it just is a standalone. It's called a self-closing tag. Yes. Okay, thank you. So you don't actually need this slash on image. Same with the break tag. So when you're doing a single break line, it's just BR. You don't need that closing break. Okay, image. And then let's talk about some other tags. So there are text within text. So let's say you have a paragraph and you just want to bold one single word. There's a tag called strong. And so it's just the word strong and then whatever text you want to bold. And then you can close it. And this one's a great tag because it's inline. So when you're doing a header, it wants to be its own separate line. But if you use the strong tag, you can kind of bold things within other content. And then there is also, in order to italicize, there's the M tag. So it's short for emphasis. So it's just EM and then italicize me /EM. Okay, go. I'm so bad at Procreate. Go away. Okay, perfect. Emphasize. Okay, let's move on to, let's see, bold. I'll talk about span when I get into CSS. So there are bullet lists and then numbered lists. And these kind of look like, you know, item 1, item 2, terrible handwriting. And the code for that is you first want to say, okay, here's my list. So you say UL, and then for each list item, you add another tag. I'm actually gonna give myself more space here. Okay, so UL is the start. And then you say for each list item, LI, and then I'll just say list 1. And then I'll close that LI. And then so on and so forth. So, you know, item 2, L-I. And then once I'm done with all of the items I want in my list, I need to close out the list. So then I would add a closing UL. Okay. Ordered lists. So these will end up being bullets. Ordered lists are exactly the same, but instead of UL, you'll use an OL. OL. And then same thing. So this one looks like, it ends up looking like this. Okay. All right, now let's get into like page structure. And all these, like, I don't expect you to memorize this stuff. There is a HTML cheat sheet to help you especially for the first few homeworks. I'll be having videos where you can just like kind of follow along just till you get the hang of things, right? So, but this is like, I just want to expose you to all the different types of tags, generally how they work, stuff like that. Okay, so layer 5. So let's talk about structure. So let's say we've got like a website, I'll just put it over on the left, that has a header, and maybe there's like a logo with a smiley face and like a header. And then maybe there's like a section with some articles, and the articles have an image and some text, image and text. And then maybe down here we've got like a footer with some links. So we can structure our page using tags that kind of help us understand what is what. And actually let's add, I'm going to add a nav on the top too. So nav. Okay. So we've got our body tag, and then we start our page. So the very first tag I have is the nav tag. So a nav tag, there's a nav tag, a header tag, a section tag, an article tag. They're all basically boxes, and there's nothing special about them inherently. They're just boxes. They used to all be like, all boxes in HTML used to be called div or dividers. And then you ended up with pages that were like div, and like div inside of a div. And so they were like, hey, let's just like call them different things, and they can just still be boxes. So they're called semantic tags, and they were introduced in the last version of HTML, which is version 5, what we'll be learning. And so, yeah, so the first one's nav. So let's say we have a nav, and then we'll have a bunch of anchor tags inside there. I'm just gonna like keep it brief. And then we close out the nav. And then the next thing down is the header. So we could have like a header tag. Different than head. It's very confusing. And then maybe inside the header, we'll have a logo that's an image, right? Maybe there's even like an anchor tag around it. And then an image. So instead of making text clickable, we can wrap the anchor tag around anything, including boxes. You can kind of make anything clickable. So let's say this is my shorthand for my anchor image logo. And then we have our H1 in here. My site. Oops. And then we can close out our head. Header, see how bad that is? Close. And then there's another tag called main, which we can kind of use to encompass everything that's like in the main section of the page. So between the header and footer, basically. So there's a main tag. And in this case, I don't really have anything in main except for other boxes. So now I could have like right here, I basically have one box, and then inside it, there's like 2 other boxes. And then maybe I have some other, I'll just have another box down here. So then inside main, I'm going to have a section tag that basically says, where's my colors? Oh, colors. So this part here is like a section. And then inside the section, so these guys are, I'm going to call them articles. Okay, so inside my section, I'll have article with a bunch of stuff. So it has an image, and it has some paragraph, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to close my article. Close article. And then below that, there's that second article. So this guy, this is like article number 2. And then the section closes. So you're kind of like creating boxes inside of boxes. It takes a little bit of time for your brain to kind of imagine these invisible boxes. So we'll actually start with just like making borders around them so we can really kind of like tell where the boxes are starting and stopping. And so then basically the other kind of box tags are footer. There's one called aside, which generally is used for like, you know, like a side navigation or side content. And then there's other ones like address, video, sound. But yeah, they're all kind of listed as like semantic tags, and they're really just like organizing tags. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do a little kind of live demo just so you can see what these look like, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about CSS. And I know that some of you who have had HTML, I hope you're hanging with me here, or at least having fun doodling, because yeah. All right, so let's see. Share screen. Okay, and if you have a second monitor, wait, stop sharing that one. Share. Okay. Oh, this is just going to be code. Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is that I set this back to the regular, the default style for Visual Studio Code. I can't stand typing on a dark background, so you can actually change that. There's different themes. So in code, you can go to preferences, color theme, and then choose a different one. I think it's either solarized. Ooh, that's too bright. Oh, let's see. Oh, I think I can go up and down, and quiet is nice. I'll probably do default light, I think is going to be best for you guys to see. Okay, so I'm just going to start a new file and make a mess. I'll get this out of my way. Go over there. Okay, so quickly, here's our Doctype tag. Let me make this bigger. It's like getting bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. Okay. And just like, you can always just interject with questions. Okay, so Doctype HTML. And then we've got HTML, and we're going to eventually close it. Inside HTML, we have head. And you notice I just did an indentation. This is just to show the kind of page hierarchy, because everything in HTML, and you'll see soon enough with CSS, it starts with a box. So HTML is the first box, and then there's like an invisible head box, and then there's the body box. So it's a hierarchy of boxes inside of boxes. Everything is very, very rectangular with HTML. So my body tag, I'll have like my header. I'll close my header, and then inside it, so this is sort of like my header box. I'll just have like an H1. Yeah. With my welcome to my web page. Okay, so let's, I'm going to jump right into CSS because I want to show you these boxes. So I'm going to save this as an HTML file somewhere. Let's see, we'll do like, in class demos, HTML intro. I'm going to create a folder, and then I'm going to call this index.html. So the browser always, when it goes into a directory, it always looks to see if there's an index.html file. And what happens if there isn't is, like on this, if I go to this directory, this homework/h1 narrative on the interactive media site, there's no index.html here. So what I get is a raw view of like all the other folders that are in the directory. So that's why those like index.html pages are great, because it means if you go to a URL like this, it'll automatically just load that page.
I have a quick question. What do you mean by like directory?
Yeah, okay, so folders, let's talk about folders. So if you're looking at this PSU interactive media, this coincides with, where's my Finder? Oh yeah, and I need to share my desktop instead of my screen. Okay, desktop, there we go. Okay, you can go away. So here is my Finder window. Maybe, okay, there's my Finder. So I have, I keep my sites in a folder called sites. So let's get to that first. Oh, why? Okay, so I'm gonna start with this directory. So this is my, my folder and directory kind of go hand in hand. So this is my PSU interactive media directory, and I'm gonna do it by name. So, so I have inside there a folder called archive, which is this folder. If I expand that, oh, there's nothing in there. If I expand assets, then I have this assets, and you can see like it's just like a folder within a folder, and then these are the files that are in there. So folder and directory is kind of like the same thing. And if I want to like, it's kind of like when you're looking at a file. So let's maybe open, I'll just open the glossary in VS Code. Maybe it'll open it in a different window, I hope. Yeah, so if I right click on this, oh, it doesn't show me the, there's a path to get to this file. So I'm going to just copy it so we can kind of look at it, and I'll just stick it in here. That's not the relative path. Copy the path. So this is the actual path to get to this file, right? So on my Finder, I have a folder called users. So there's like my hard drive. I have a folder called users. Inside that folder, I have a folder called Alana. Inside that is sites, and inside that is PSU, interactive media, and then inside that is glossary. So all those things, it's like an address. And so when you're thinking about directories and like folders and files, you need to kind of know where things, like the relationship of where things are in like a physical location. And I think that it's become harder to imagine this because it's been kind of like abstracted out for us. Like it used to be very much like you would double click on the folder and open it up, and then double click inside that and open the folder inside that. And we're losing that like physicality to files, but it really is how files are kind of like organized visually on a computer. Is that kind of making sense? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and it's a difficult concept sometimes to grasp the whole, like, if this is my project folder, like where's my homework, you know, if this is my project folder and here's my file to get into images. And I'm going to make a CSS directory, so we'll practice this a little bit right now. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so here's our HTML file. I'm going to add a title. Here's my web page. I don't know. Okay, so let's make some CSS. So I have put this in HTML intro in the in-class demos. So I'm going to find that and HTML intro folder, and I'm going to right click and say new folder, and then I'm going to say CSS. I like to have the CSS file in a separate folder because with larger sites you tend to have more than one CSS file, so it's just like a good way to organize things. And so inside of that CSS, I'm going to say new file, and this one I'm going to call style.css. So CSS was created a couple years after HTML, because people were like, hey, this is really ugly. You could do some things. Oops, now I have to find it. Okay. In class demos. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so they're like, hey, can you please like fix this? Because it used to be that you'd have to, every single item, you'd have to say font face equals, I don't know, Georgia. And then you'd have to say font size equals 60. I can't even remember. And then you'd have to close, let's see, font. Yeah, I can't even remember. It's been so long. But there would be multiple like font tags, and then you would say like color equals, and there was like a bazillion tags. And then when you had a paragraph, you'd have the same thing. You'd have to do, okay, here's my paragraph, and then for my paragraph, I want to have font face equals blah, 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 Helvetica. And then I think it's this one that's not right. Anyway, and then this is text. Let's see if I actually did any of this right.
So does that work with any font you have in your like font book, or just
No,
Google?
this was only available for fonts that the browsers supported. Whoa, cool. So I totally blew something. Cool. I have no idea what I did. So so let's go to CSS, because nobody uses these font tags anymore. They were always horrible. So what CSS has allowed us is to have a file that's separate, or we can do it in line, but it's best practice to do it in a separate file to say, hey, you know what? For every font on my website, I want it to be, let me make sure I fix this. Okay. And I'll make a paragraph. Cool trick, to get lorem ipsum text, all you have to do is type LOREM, and then the amount of words that you want. So I'll just say 20. So all in one word. And then if I hit tab, ta-da, lorem ipsum text, yay. Okay, so here's my site. Let's make it pretty. So the first thing I want to do is I want to link to my style file. And I want to do that in the header. So I'm going to link, I'm going to use it's called a link tag, and Emmett will help me out, which is great because I can never remember what the attribute is. But if I type link and then I hit tab, it'll say the relationship, REL, is a style sheet. So it assumes that if it's a link, it's probably a style sheet. And the href for that is, so if I'm here, I need to go into the CSS directory and then to the style.css file. So I'm going to say,
What do you mean by style sheet?
So style sheet is, CSS is another language. It's another markup language that works in tandem with HTML. So you get to learn two languages at once, which is awesome. It's like learning German and French at the same time. But they work in tandem, and the CSS, you'll have like, it's called cascading style sheets. And the style sheet is going to be where you're going to assign fonts, where you're going to set margin and padding, where you're going to organize your layout, add colors, add styling to your like links, all that kind of stuff. It goes into like a separate CSS file. And so let's, I'll show you the first example so you can kind of get a taste of what the style sheets do. So I'm linking to this file now, and now I can go in there and I'll just add, I'll say for my H1, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change the color to red. And we'll do some practice writing this out, I think, after I do a couple demos. So if I save this and I go to my web page, then it says, oh, okay, I found an H1 and I see that you want me to color it red. So it adds that red. I just want to put a border around everything so that we can kind of see it. So I'm going to say border equals 1 pixel solid, and I'll just make it red. And then I'll say, okay, I want to see the paragraph too. So I'm going to say paragraph, curly brackets. I wish that wasn't yellow. I might have to choose another template. It's the only problem with these like default templates is that they're not easy to like switch up. Why do you have to be yellow? Yellow is such a horrible color to be demoing this with. Preference, why can I not get there? Color theme. Come on, really? Always yellow? Oof. What is up with that? Okay, well, can you guys see that yellow okay? Kind of sucks, huh? All right, well, I'm going forward. So I'm gonna make another border around the, I'm gonna make it instead of red, you can see it. Okay, so basically, quiet. Everything that I've made so far is a box. Paragraph is a box, H1 is a box. If I make so we talked about a section tag. So let's see, maybe around my paragraph, I'll have a main tag. So I'm gonna say all my main content is gonna go in here. And then for main, let's make another color. So we'll say main, and then I'll make main blue. Yep. Ah, clicking weird. Oh, maybe I have to give it a little bit of a padding so you can see it. 1 pixel. Oh, I didn't say border, that's why. And I typo all the time. I should like keep a scoreboard if you like catch my typos. Okay, so then now you can see main is just a big box too, and then paragraph is a child. It's inside that blue box. Other things that you can do. So I can say anything inside the body, I want you to use a certain font. So I'm going to say font. The font family is, let's do something crazy. I don't know. We'll do impact. I'm into impact this week. I don't know why. So now every single font should change from the default to impact. But let's say, so I want everything on the site to be impact, except when it's the H1, I want it to be different. And this is the cascading part. So if I say, make this one, come on, font family, courier. Now my H1s are going to be courier and the rest will be impact. And if I, and so from now on, if I add any other paragraphs or any other content, so I could make an unordered list. List one, or list item one. List item two. So even though I have never said, if it's a list item, make it be impact font, it's doing it because it's basically saying anything from the body on in, make it impact, unless, you know, then it finds this other rule that's saying, unless it's an H1, and then in that case, make it courier. So you can kind of like use that cascading effect to help you. So I could, I mean, it would be crazy to do, but I could say, make every single piece of text, let's see, what should we do? Body, make everything purple. So I want all my font colors to be purple. So, so maybe that's like the base color of my site. But see how, like, because I had assigned red to this, it's gonna stay red. But if I remove that, come on. Then that'll also just messed up. I broke something. Career monospace. It's just spinning. What are you doing? Wake up. Wake up. Okay, so yeah, all purple. So let's write out some CSS. And then I want to make sure that I'm not like jumping so far ahead that you're like, what the heck is she talking about? So, so fire away with some questions. What have I, like, do you understand this relationship of like, HTML is kind of like the structure. It's like, this is my paragraph, this is my H1, this is my box. And then CSS is the way to kind of like style those things. Good, cool.
I'm just not super familiar with like any of this, so I think I'll just have to do the reading and probably really
yeah,
rewatch.
totally. And
Yeah,
really just
same
like,
here.
yeah, it's like the only way to do it, I think, is like just jump in, you know.
How do you like connect the two? That's where I'm kind of like drawing a blank. Like how do you connect the CSS to the HTML, that like the specific HTML?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of confused on, that too.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So right now I've just been saying, if you find any paragraph tag, or if you find any H1, then use this this style for it. And so I have this style.css file, and then I have the index page. And so when this file loads, the browser kind of, it's very linear. It loads the page, it hits Doctype, and it's like, oh cool, HTML. it hits that HTML box, and then it hits the head box, and it says, oh, I see you want to link this other file to this page. So what it does is it loads all the CSS to be available to the HTML. So the pages kind of load together. And what that is called is, they call it the DOM, which is not very exciting, but it's called the Document Object Model. And what I don't like the word DOM. I think it's confusing. What's really happening is that all the files are loading into a memory space. So it's kind of like RAM, you know, like when you load a big Photoshop file, it's like in RAM so that it's like faster to work on. It's loading that file into RAM, and it's sitting up in RAM, and it really just like loads once, and then it's not even really using the file anymore. Kind of loaded it up, and like that's where it is. And so what happens is that when it goes through here and it says, okay, import this CSS, it's like all up in RAM, so that like anytime the HTML, you know, like here we have an H1 tag. So anytime that HTML sees in this related file, oh, if I have an H1, I should style it like this, then that's how it's kind of like setting the style for that. So what if we have, what if we don't want every single H1 on our site to be courier with like a border of red, right? What if we want like a special H1 or a special H2 or a special paragraph? So let's make another paragraph. So I'm gonna just make this paragraph is not like the others. Okay, so if we first look at this in the browser, it looks the same. But if I give it another attribute to make it special, then I can call that attribute in CSS and say, okay, for this paragraph, let's do something different. So in this case, the attribute that I'm going to use is class. And I'm going to say class equals, and then we'll just call it special paragraph. Okay, so now I can use this class in CSS. So still right now, it just looks the same. But if I go into my style file, and the way to call out a class versus an HTML tag is to add a dot in front of it. So I'm going to say dot special paragraph. And then I'm going to say in the curly brackets, I'm going to say make the font family family. Come on, give me my list. What's your problem? Font family. Do I have a typo on here somewhere? Monospace. Problem value expected. Well, yeah, no kidding. I want you to give me a list. All right, I'll just make my own list. I'll do Verdana. There we go. Okay, so we'll do Verdana, and then I hate purple. Like this is, so let's change it. So I want the font color to be just black, and then let's make it font size 36. So now it's going to find, if it finds any class called special paragraph, it's going to apply these styles to it. So let's go take a look at that. Cool. So now this is Verdana black 36. So you can kind of style from like general to very specific. I could even say only use, like right now, if I apply this special paragraph to anything, it'll apply this. So I could even, if I go into like index.html and let's have like a H2 tag, my second section or whatever. And then I apply that class of class equals special paragraph. If I do that, it actually is going to apply everything. But as you can see, it's a header, so it also has the addition of like font weight bold. So yeah, so it's applying all these styles plus the one that it already kind of comes with by default. But I can also say, well, actually, like, don't let this apply unless it's a paragraph. So I can say only paragraphs with a class of special paragraph can have this style. And now I've become even more specific. So if I go back, this one goes back to purple because it's not a paragraph. So it's not going to get any of that style. Okay. 10:07. I'm just like thinking about. So let's handwrite out some stuff because I think that it is really helpful to just like get that practice of handwriting stuff. So let's pull up my iPad again.
So CSS, does that always stay that basic, like only being able to choose like basic blue or basic purple, or can you get more advanced on that?
You can choose any color that you want. This is like the like I want to jump right to the exciting stuff. I'll do a little bit of exciting because like this is, you're like, great, that's fantastic. Like if this is all I can do is purple and blue and red, right? But like if I go to, wait, am I sharing the right screen? Can you see my code screen? Where's my green box? Yeah, okay. So if I go to, I'll just go to color.adobe.com. Come on, Adobe. Come on, Adobe. Okay, so I'll just make it more. Woo! Sorry. I can use, these are called Hex Colors. So you've probably seen these in Photoshop. They've got a pound and they have 6 numbers or letters. So let's get rid of, let's see. Let's get rid of this purple. We'll just change everything to that crazy color. So if I hit pound and then paste, now it's going to be really exciting. Now I'm designing. So you can use the hex value. You can also use, let's go back to Adobe, the RGB. So this one is, let's do the blue, 27216222. So if I want to do the RGB, I can do, you have to say RGB and then 27216222. So not, gotta get rid of that pound. Okay, so red and blue, and so the first one's red, the second one's green, and the third one's blue. And so I can do blue. And I can also do, I can add an alpha channel. So I can say RGBA, and then I can have transparency, which is super fun. So it's by percentage. So 0.6 is 60%. And you can overlap things. So it doesn't look like it, but that's 60. Probably if I went down to, oh, there's a comma missing. Yeah, so you can like change the transparency. So you have millions of colors available. And if you saw, I can actually click inside here and it'll let me kind of go in and choose whatever colors I want to, which is kind of a nice feature of VS Code. So you can grab your colors right there, change the opacity. And then, oh yeah, that's cool. It automatically went back to RGB because it was like, I don't need an alpha, I'm 100%. So yeah, any color of the rainbow. And then, so yeah, fonts too, right?
I
So
have a quick question about the color.
with basic, yeah.
So for like, if you're just gonna use like a hex value, would it be the same except you put like hex instead of RGB and then you have the value?
The hex value is like a different set of numbers and letters than the RGB value.
Okay.
So the way that CSS recognizes it is by that pound. So I'll kind of write out all the options. So RGB is basically RGB with parentheses. Hex value is a pound with like 6 numbers and letters. And these are actually in pairs. So the first 2 represent, like in this case, if we go back to Adobe. So in hex value, which is like it's hexadecimal, it involves both numbers and letters. So it's like a different way to write values. So DE is the same thing as 222. And then BD is the same thing as 189, and 04 is the same thing as 4. And like if you get, let me so no, gray was. So this is like a pretty standard dark gray. Interesting. But yeah, you can see when it's when the RGB values are equal to each other, those letters and numbers are the same. So like B5, 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 B3, B3. And so there's a lot of standard colors that you'll end up using, like the grays are they're 333, 666, 999, CCC, and then other like more complex ones like DE, 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 stuff like that. But yeah. Okay, colors. So yeah, RGB, RGBA, and then hex. And then there's also like, if you look up HTML5 color names, there's a bunch. There's a lot of really complex colors. But, you know, as designers, it's not like, it's just not enough. This is not the color name thing I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, there's blanched almond, chartreuse, dark goldenrod, floral white, fire brick, more goldenrod, honeydew, hot pink. It goes on and on. And it's more than 356. It's like 1,000 now or something. I don't remember. A bunch. But you'll probably end up using either RGB, RGBA, or hex. And you can interchange them. It doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, scribble for a while because I think it'll kind of help just get the basic format down. I know this is like super weird. It's going to be weird for a little bit. It's just kind of how it is. Okay, stop sharing, share iPad. But it's so exciting because you're drawing things to the screen. Share iPad. Doing it again. Okay, I think it's my cable actually. I blame my child. Okay, why are you upside down? Turn off that layer. All right, here we go. So basic structure for CSS is, we'll just start with HTML tags. So let's say we want to style our H1. It's the name of the tag without any angle brackets, and then it's a curly bracket, and then some style. So I'll do one that we haven't done yet. So I'm going to say padding, and then colon, and then a value. So padding colon 20 px. And then you want to end every statement with a semicolon. So HTML is pretty forgiving generally, a little more forgiving than CSS. CSS is not forgiving. If you forget, come on, red. if you forget this semicolon anywhere inside your CSS file, it might break something else and like it'll take forever. It's like a super pain. It really wants those semicolons. So if you're working on something and you're having trouble with a style, the best thing to do first thing is go through your CSS and say, do I have a semicolon on every single end of my styles? The good news is there's validator tools that you can just paste your CSS in and it'll find it for you. But just like this structure is like super strict. Okay, so yeah, basically all HTML tags are kind of like this. So let's say we want to style our anchor tag. We just need the A. We don't need the href because that's an attribute. So we just need A and then curly brackets. And then let's see, we'll just change the, we'll remove that text decoration that happens by default. So I'm going to say text decoration none. And what I mean by the text decoration is that by default, all links have that underline under them. And a lot of times you don't want it because it's pretty ugly. But then let's talk about like when you hover over your link, like when you put your mouse over a link, maybe you want it to activate in some way so that you can tell that it's an active link, that if you click on it, that something is expected to happen. For that, we can add a style that's A and then colon hover. And that means if I'm hovering over my link, do stuff. And so maybe we'll add the text decoration of underline back in. So we can say text decoration under line semicolon curly bracket. Okay. There's also margin. So maybe if we have a paragraph, curly bracket, we want to add a margin bottom so that every time we end the paragraph, there's space before the next one. So I can say margin. And if I want to specify top, bottom, left, right, I can say margin dash bottom. And then maybe underneath it, I want to have a margin of 30 pixels. Okay, so that's kind of a few different styles and the way of writing an HTML tag. So when I showed you the special class that we added to the paragraph, so if we had like a paragraph class, I don't know, I'll just say big. And this is just, so that's in our HTML file. Just want to make sure that I'm just saying, you know, let's say in our HTML file we have that. In our CSS, what we would have is dot big. So that's how you define a class on the CSS end. So dot big, curly bracket, and then we'll say font dash size colon 36 pixels. Semicolon, curly bracket. So the big difference is like when you're defining any kind of like attribute on the HTML side, you use equals and then a quote. On the CSS side, you use colon, and then you don't have to like use quotes. It's just like the value. So it's like the property and the value. Let's see. I feel like I don't want to like bombard you, and I don't want to take up a whole bunch of time. At 10:30, I'd like to kind of, is there anyone in this class that needs help with getting your homepage up and running, or Visual Studio Code, or like issues with GitHub, any of that?
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, cool. All right. Before I'm going to give you some resources and point you to the homework video, which I think there's enough to kind of get rolling and just like have fun and don't stress. You know, we've got 10 weeks. This stuff is weird, and you're literally, it's like learning German and French at the same time because HTML is so different from CSS. It's hard to get that relationship, like to understand that relationship for a while. And then also you have to worry about files and like making files go up on the internet, and you know, it's a lot. So have fun, make some cool drawings, take some cool pictures, have fun with like the homework one, and just like struggle through, you know, it's fine. Probably most of you will have some struggles with just like getting pages to link together. So so yeah, so I think like for the rest, I'm going to show you a few great tools that will help you. Okay, so one that I love, devdocs.io. And I'm going to put these on, I started a message for what to do by Monday. So I'll add that here. Okay, due by Monday. Edit. Come on, edit. Hello? Are you awake? Okay, that's weird. Okay, so resources. I love this site because you can, so here's HTML. So you'll want these two guys, HTML and CSS. So what you do is you find the like languages that you want. So in your case, HTML and CSS, and then there's like a little enable link that comes up on the right-hand side. You guys can see this page, right? It says HTML on the top. I'm always worried about Zoom and sharing. I'm like a fast clicker. Okay, so yeah, you can find HTML and CSS. You can do a search on them, and then if you click them open, there's you can see how to make like how to define color. So if I go into color and I click on color, it'll kind of give you examples of what it would look like in CSS. So here's the color names that we saw on that one website, and then here's how to use a hex value. I just wanted to point out real quick, see how this is only 3 numbers? CSS is cool because it knows that if those numbers match, so if it's 336699, it just, and there's only 3 numbers available, it knows to change that to, like, to convert it to that it's pairs. So like if the pairs are, like in this case, 009900 is actually the same thing as 090 because it knows that it wants 6 values. And so, so CSS will go, oh yeah, okay, that's 009900. So that's what that's all about. Just, you can stick to the 6 value and then you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it has examples for all that stuff. It's got, I'll do more about fonts. We're going to be probably using a lot of Google fonts or Typekit fonts, but here's kind of how to, this is if you have this file locally. You can play, you can try to get fonts working. It's a little bit funky. The easier way to do it is Google Fonts will kind of help you through it. So if you want to give that a go, you can. I might make a quick video because I know you guys are going to be excited about fonts. But anyway, this is really helpful to figure out tags. So there's a CSS one and an HTML one. So remember, HTML is kind of the structure of the page. CSS is the styling of everything. So color, font, padding, margin, that kind of stuff. And then another good site. Oh, so color.adobe.com is pretty great. I'll add that up there. Okay, so I'll say color wheels, and then this one is CSS and HTML tag help. Okay. And then I'll also post, let's see if I can find, oh, I know where I can find it. I have some cheat sheets for HTML and CSS that are just one page, so it's not so overwhelming. That dev docs has like every single HTML tag and every single CSS tag, whereas these cheat sheets just have the basics. So here is, copy the link. My HTML cheat sheet. And then I have to find the CSS one. Dang it. Okay, I'll find the CSS one that's just like a single pager. Okay, save. So yeah, the Ducket book will also help because it kind of gives you more of that background. I'll do that, at least get like a Google Fonts thing and a CSS HTML demo. And then, so, oh yeah, one big thing. Okay, 2 minutes. Well, we're fine if we go a little over, but so for your design journal, this first prompt should be in there. Where's VS Code? So if I go to, close that. Of course, I don't have it here. Where is it? Oh, right, I have my workspace. Open workspace. Right there, workspace. Okay, yeah, so if you ever like close your files out, you can go find that des341.codes-workspace file, and that'll like open up all your folders again. So I saved mine in my DES folder, so I know where to find it. So I'm gonna hit open. And then I'll be able to get to the design journal. Okay, so too many files. There we go. Okay, so here's my my github.io thing, and on the index page for that, there's a link to, or you can see actually there's the design journal page right here. So if I click on the design journal, what is your problem? Sure. If I click on the design journal, the first prompt is here. So what do you hope to achieve by the end of the term? Are there special projects or technologies you'd like to see covered by the end? Is there a site or two that gives you butterflies? What is it? So you can just click in the right after response and just type out a paragraph or two. If you want to play with adding paragraphs, if you even want to, try adding your own style, go for it. This is your site to play with. But yeah, that's the writing prompt. So that's due by Monday, and then homework 1. And yeah, and I'll be around. I try not to work much on weekends, but I will be around probably this weekend. I want to make sure that everybody's kind of up and running. And then once you get all of that done, so I'm just going to say, I hope to fix the world. So I've updated my design prompt, and then let's see what the chat says. Oh yeah, so I got that too. So so when I opened my design journal file, it said detected unusual line terminators, and that usually is because I don't know what that came from, but there's different line breaks in different applications. And so I think like Visual Studio Code was just like, there's like weird line breaks in here. They're invisible characters. And so, yeah, I just said, go ahead and fix it. So if you get that error, and I think most of you probably will, just say, go ahead and fix it. Okay, so once this is done, oh yeah, and also just go find one website that's exciting to you, and then the link will go in here, and then the name of the link will go in here. So it'll be something like HTTPS something. And then in between the starting anchor tag and the ending anchor tag, this is where you'll put the text. So it'll be like something.com is the name of the site. I wonder if there's anything there. And then if I click go live, I should be able to get to my journal. So I can kind of check my work. So there's my, oh, I put it in week 2. Oh, well. But yeah, so there's my link. It's clickable. Let's see if there's anything at something.com. No, anybody want to buy a domain name? Something.com is available. And then once this is done, if you go back to GitHub Desktop, so the purple app, come on, GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop. Open. There we go. Okay. You'll see your changes that you made. If you like, your current repository should show up in this list. If you have others, you might have to choose it, but it should just be there by default, and then just say added journal post or whatever you want, and then you click on commit, and then you'll get this no local changes. So that means locally it's been saved in Git and that like it's all kosher. And then if you say push to origin, that's the part that pushes it up to github.com. And so Git is kind of like the engine of the application. It's built into GitHub Desktop, or GitHub Desktop uses it. And it is installed when you install GitHub Desktop. So yeah, and all that is like a weird relationship that will be for a longer conversation. But yeah, and so now if I go, I think mine was Alana Reese V4. I think that's what it was lately. .github.com. Oh, come on, what was it? Oh, right, because I have to go to, I gotta fix that so it's the same as you guys, because that's my other website. Too many websites. And then slash. So you should be able to just go to your regular website. There it is. Without all this weird stuff I'm having to do. And then if I click on my design journal, it should be up there and live. So yeah, ping me. I know a lot of you pinged me. I had like a 10-hour day yesterday, and then I got sucked into the debates. So I did see all your messages, and I apologize for not getting back to you yesterday. I will check in with all of you and make sure that things are cool, or if you need extra help. And so now if you want to go and just like get working on homework 1, you are free to go. And if you want to keep working on stuff, you are also free to stay. Sound good? And I'll be sending more videos. Definitely this weekend is going to be a massive video bonanza weekend for me. Cool. Okay, so Sean, let's see, who should we do first? So the issues that you were having, let's try to figure that out first. Sound good?
Okay. It keeps doing a 404 and I don't know why.
Okay. So yeah, what is your github.com username?
Here, I'll type it.
Okay. And then yeah, the rest of you, do you want to put in chat what you want to go over? Okay. So, share my screen. Okay, so you have, and you're not the first person to do this, but you have a folder inside a folder. So let's check out and see if this works. If I go here.
See, I tried going there too, and I think it did the same thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. First thing is let's see. I'm gonna see if I can get this just to see. This should work. HTML preview. This is like a magic tool just to see if the files are okay. Just oh, what I have to do. Oh, we just got groceries. Okay, cool. So the files are good. So it's just a matter of probably two things. One is that we want to move your files from that folder into like the main folder. So you probably on your hard drive have something like, I'm going to make a mess in here so it's an organized mess. So you have like, you probably have a folder called that, and then inside that folder, oh, yeah, got it. And then inside that folder, you probably have another folder called the same thing, right?
So I did, and I changed that. I took away the other folder, and I don't know why it's still showing that.
Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. Then that means we should look at your screen instead of mine.
Okay.
And then maybe go to cool setting. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, Macy, sounds good. Yeah, we'll do that momentarily. So yeah, share your screen. And did everything seem to push up okay to github.com or to like when you use the purple app?
So that's in the DES 341.
Okay. 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 And then if you go to the purple app, open that guy up. Okay. And then click on history.
I've been trying a lot to try and fix it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And then, okay, click changes. And then will you just click on the little arrow in where it says current repository? Just click on that. Okay, it's the only one. Good.
And see, so right there, it's saying github.com/SeanQB.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right, so.
Is it something wrong with the way I created the repository?
Yeah, I think that when you move stuff around, so let's see, you're on a Windows machine?
Yeah.
Did it install an app called Git Bash? Okay, I have a better idea. Windows show invisible files. There's like a invisible folder that gets built, and we can just delete it and then remake that connection. Invisible folder. foldering. Okay, so go to the start button. We're gonna just like show all of your invisible files. Select control panel, select appearance and personalization. Of course there's not. Settings maybe. Control panel, okay. Let me get my thing out of the way. And then you're gonna select appearance and personalization. And then you're gonna select folder options. File, probably File Explorer. Yeah, so show hidden files and folders. See that?
Yeah.
Click on that. And then let's see.
Probably that.
Yeah. Cool. Apply. Okay, great. So now go to your DES 341. So see that .get thing? Delete that. Cool. And then I don't know if you, let's just get rid of that get attributes folder too. Okay, cool. So now GitHub doesn't know anything about it, which is awesome. So let's go back to the GitHub. Yeah, that.
This or
Yeah, the purple app. I'm wondering if we should let's just get it off GitHub too, because I want to make sure that we don't get all funky. So go to the github.com in the browser, and then you're gonna go to the danger zone. So scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, you're in the right place. So delete this repository. And then you'll have to type that all in, yeah. Seems like you've done this already. Cool.
yes, this is the second version of this.
Oh, cool. All right, and then go back to the GitHub desktop app. And then, and now you're gonna say, oh, it should say that this doesn't exist. If you right click on that, yeah, and say remove. Cool, awesome. So now click that folder one, add an existing repository, and then go find it. Let's make sure, yeah, okay, perfect. Select folder, you're good. Yep, you're good. And then click create, create repository. And then, yep, all fine. And then now, when you say publish, make sure you unselect the private. So keep this private. Deselect that one. And then publish. And then you'll have to go back into settings and change the like the GitHub pages part. Isn't this like a crazy, unsettling, uncomfortable world? So go scroll up and then, oh, you have to probably open your window to get to settings. There you go. And then up a little. So right now it says branch master. Try changing it to branch main. I don't know when they changed that. And then hit save. And then it might take a minute, but that should be good. So one thing is that it really, GitHub really caches files. Let me see if I can get it. If I can get it to load, usually if I send you the link, it will load. Temporarily down for maintenance. My arse. Okay, so yeah, if I go to the index page, zoom. Oh yeah, you're there, right? Cool.
Yeah, and so if I have my homework already set up, I think it was like that. Because I swore, yeah, homework 1.
Oh, it's case sensitive on.
Okay, so I need to do capital H, capital HW.
Yep, I'm there. So yeah, now the image problem. But let me look at it. It's probably pretty. Okay, so images, pumpkin. It might be because of capitalization, because I think I saw that your images directory was like uppercase I. So make sure, oh no, it's lowercase, homework images, and then open
That's,
images.
this one is uppercase. Should I rename it?
No, because it's hard to fix in GitHub. That'll be like another session. So images and then uppercase pumpkin dot jpg. Huh. Homework HW1 uppercase images pumpkin.
Is it because it's not uppercase right here for the image stores?
Yes, it has to be uppercase images. I had a comma. So yeah.
So change that to an uppercase I. And...
yeah, and that's working for me. Cool. Yeah, and it'll work locally, but it won't work on GitHub because locally it's more forgiving about capitalization than on GitHub. So yeah, something fun to talk about next week. Okay, so Macy, do you have Visual Studio Code downloaded and GitHub Desktop? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably just gonna need to do the same thing that just Sid was shown.
Okay, cool.
I like had a freak out. I had a freak out moment yesterday when I was trying to get it to work, and then I was like, I'm just gonna delete everything, and then I think I didn't delete enough stuff when I was trying to redo it all. So
it's still not having the image show up.
Oh, it's probably just because like I see the image. I'll show you. I know that it exists because I see it on github.io. So you can try Control-Shift-R will hard refresh your browser.
There it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I had it fixed last night and I didn't Control-Shift-R because I did the capital I thing and I was like, it doesn't work still. And then I
incognito browsers are also your friend, to like as a sort of second check too.
That makes sense. Yes.
Cache, yeah. But
okay.
yeah, this will be like everybody will go through this at least once,
Yeah.
so don't feel bad. Okay, cool. So yeah, Macy, let's take a look at what you've got.
cool. Okay, everything is all sized weird because I had it on my monitor. Yeah, I guess I just like, I have this folder with the GitHub in it.
Okay, looks good.
Okay, now that's not opening to anything.
Oh, weird. Oh, maybe your files got.
Maybe I have it somewhere. Yeah, I just need to like restart. I don't know where anything is.
Well, it looks like you have files. Like if you right click on your index.html, or it actually will show you where the files are
Here
in Visual Studio Code. So maybe you just ended up with like 2 versions. Yeah, because look, you have Documents has one, and then DES 341 has one. That's what happened. So probably, let's see.
Okay, so that's probably where it is.
Probably.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is, I guess, so where is the, let's see, so there's the workspace. So where is DES 341? If you click on that folder, on that orange folder, and if you right click on it, will it, oh look, it's got like an exclamation point. So save. So right click on it and save reveal in Finder. Let's go find it.
Just doesn't do anything.
Okay, so yeah, it must have, because see how it has that exclamation point?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it says unable to find. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try to remove it. If you right click, does it let you just like get rid of it?
Remove folder from workspace.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then oh, you have everything in your workspace. Okay.
I don't know why.
Let's make you a new, yeah, let's make you a new workspace. So maybe yeah, cool. Is it delete workspace? Let me see. Okay, right click on it. Oh, I keep like removing the workspace is like so hard for me. So close workspace. So yeah, so if you go to file and then close workspace up in your, yeah, close workspace. Okay, awesome. And then let's just get rid of that workspace file. So in your Finder where it says DES 341 code dash workspace, let's just delete that. So right below Adobe, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just get rid of that sucker. Cool. Okay, and now, oh, okay. So I know what happened. All right. So GitHub likes to put things in that GitHub folder, but your latest stuff is probably like, have you added anything, or you were just trying to get it to work?
No, I just literally can't get it to
Okay. Okay. Yeah, then let's just, so get rid of that folder that's highlighted right now. We'll just use the one that's in GitHub.
Okay.
And then, so that's the one that GitHub knows about. So now let's go to Visual Studio Code, and you're gonna say, add folder to workspace from the file menu. And then you're gonna click on that, go up to, oh, iCloud.
This is like that empty one that I should probably
Yeah.
do.
So click on Documents on the far left, click on GitHub, and then click on that. Yep, and now add that. Okay, perfect. And now it should, if you open your file, git not found install. Yeah, say click on download git because that'll help you later.
Okay.
And then click on your little file icon to expand to make sure. Oh, it's like downloading Git now. Yep, download. Oh, do you have GitHub Desktop installed? Yeah, of course you do. Okay. Yeah, so click back on, yeah, you shouldn't have to do anything. It should be like a regular file install from your downloads. But yeah, let's
Should I try and get this?
I think it should have already done your downloads, no?
Oh.
You already did the download, like the button, right? So
yeah,
we'll check your download folder in a second. But go back to Visual Studio Code, click on your little file icon on the left. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we have an untitled workspace. So now I think it's like, what is it? Save workspace as? Yeah. And then let's make sure we know where we're saving it. So if you click on where, is that the right? Yeah, so that's the right place. So just click again and then, yeah, just call it DES 341. And save that. Cool, so now that is good. And then let's just make a change to the index.html file just to make sure that all that stuff is set up right. So you can just change like line 13 or whatever, yeah. I think I saved it. Cool. So then let's go to the GitHub desktop app. Cool. Okay. And then like if you click on index, it should show the cool, all the changes. Awesome. So now in the summary, just type like made a homepage change or something boring like that down on the left. Yeah. So description doesn't really matter, but the summary, the that field above it does. Yeah. Cool. And then commit. And then publish. And then, okay. Let me see Iceland. So let's make sure GitHub is working. So github.com. And then, so yeah, okay, cool. So go to a browser and type in github.com. Cool. And then, so awesome. So click on your, oh yeah, so click on that. We're gonna have to change the name of your repository. So yeah, go to your repositories. And then change, let's see, where do you change it? If you click on that repository, so click on the name. Let's go to, is there like an edit? It might be under, I think you have to do it, that little gear icon, I think.
Just about.
Yeah. Hit cancel. It's probably under the three dots. You want to find the settings. There you go. Okay. So make sure you change it from GitHub to GitHub in the repository. Okay, and then rename. And then scroll down. Oh, go back to settings. I hate that it does that. Like, maybe I want other things to happen in here. Why do you have to take me back to the beginning? Okay. Cool. Okay, so, all right, your site is published. So let's click on that link and see if we get anywhere.
Yay.
Yay!
It was like showing an error before, but
yeah. It might have been the typo.
Probably. One thing just screw it all up.
Yep. Yeah. Typos are the worst.
And like all my random files. That too.
Yeah. But you should be good. I would probably make sure that if there's any other folders that are outside of that GitHub directory that are that name, you might want to just get rid of them so they don't get confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should be good to go. I'm gonna make a crap ton of videos and then more fun to be had. But yeah, stay calm. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I've taken a couple of coding classes before too, and I was just like, I know how to do the coding part. I just don't know how to set it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it's like, I like getting all the setup done first because then it's out of the way, but it is also weird.
Yeah, and it kind of, everyone probably has a different problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
Bye.